happy Sunday. How was your weekend? Let me know in the comments below. I'm not in the sewing room today because I've been locked in there for the last 3 days working on next week's video, which I'm really excited to show you. But I'm in my dining room and today we're going to wax the jacket, the infamous jacket. I'm going to show you what I actually did with the pockets. So let me know if you think I did the right thing. It's done now, so I don't really care. But thank you for all your feedback. Across social media, there were some really funny references and I really welcome it. But this is what I decided to do. I will warn you, we might get a special guest today. I'm going to be outshined by my co-star, so I'm sure he will make a visit. What do we do? I'm going to do a quick sample using the cotton canvas. And I think I mentioned in the last video, I'm using the Green Lang Wax by Fragile Raven. I've got 2 of these small ones. Wax does go a long way, especially this method. The other method that I've seen people do is melt up beeswax and you can paint that on and that will give you a thicker layer of wax. I think, considering Manchester it is very wet, I'm going to go with the method today, and then if I want to re-wax it, I can do. And that's the great thing about waxing your clothes. So it comes in a small cardboard box. In this one I think there's 20 grams, and all you have to do is rub the wax on and it will leave a bit of a residue. So we'll do half of this. And I think because this is yellow canvas, you can't really see, but I've put some wax on this side. And then all we do is take your hairdryer and melt the wax. And as you can see, it doesn't really change the fabric that much. There is a slight waxy feel, but if we put some water on, you can see, I've made a mess here, but you can see where it's soaking immediately into the non-wax side, where it's pooling more on this waxed side. And that's what we're going for today. So I think it is going to be more shower proof than fully kind of waterproof, but yeah, the water kind of just sits on top, and yes, I think that's going to be great. You can see where, when the fabric kind of wrinkles or creases when I'm pulling the wax over it, it applies a thicker layer of wax, and that definitely does go darker. So I think if you were to do the melted beeswax and use a brush to put that on, you would get a much darker change in the fabric colour. But I don't mind these marks. Like I say, I think it adds to that worn effect and potentially makes it look less Ronald McDonald. So I've done this whole bottom section and I'll do the front, and I'm still like not even halfway through one of the wax boxes, wax cubes. So I think we'll be able to do the whole jacket with just this one cube, the 20 gram, And then I'll have another one if I want to re-wax or wax anything else. So I'm going to finish this up and then I will show you the final version. I've put 2 layers of wax on this side, and it has made some of the fabric slightly darker. It's added a bit of a texture to it. But honestly, I don't mind that. I think it's going to make this look a bit more worn in, which is great. So I think I'm going to do 2 layers over everything, and then whenever I need to, I can always re-wax the rest of the coat. So I've waxed the whole jacket, and I've still got the other box left, and 2 tiny nubbins of wax. So the 20 grams pretty much did the whole jacket, and I've probably got enough for any touch-ups. I'd say I've not gone that heavy on the wax, and there's no residue once you've hair dried it in and melted the wax in. You do need to be kind of making sure that you actually melt all of the wax in, otherwise there is kind of a waxy feel. But once it's melted in, even where there's kind of thicker bits of wax, it doesn't feel like waxy at all, but it's still shower proof. Where it is heavier, where the wax is kind of, say, rubbed over cord or a seam, it does darken the canvas. But like I say, I quite like that. And even on my fingers as well, like using the wax, it feels really waxy, obviously. But once you've hair dried it in, it just feels like the canvas again. I'm really happy with this. I've been thinking what else I could wax, and I'm thinking I might make a docker and do a waxed version of the docker. I think it works best on, obviously, natural fibres like cotton canvas. It worked well on the binding and is really soaked in. That's just a thin cotton. But this cotton canvas, because it's heavier, it's really soaked the wax up. So yes, we have a waxed parka ready for the showers in Manchester, and I've still got another one left over. So let me know in the comments what you would wax. Would you make a coat, maybe some waxed trousers? Have you ever tried waxing before? I'd be really interested. And I'm quite keen to use the beeswax method as well, where you melt the wax and paint it on. But I know that's going to be a really thicker coating, so maybe we'll try that in the future. But I hope you enjoyed this little experiment, and I will see you next week.